Good morning, everybody. Theo the Juggernaut with you on this Monday. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful Canada Day, safe and sound. Beautiful fireworks everywhere within the city and outside the city. Must tell you, it was very loud and very long. So congratulations to Winnipeg for celebrating a great 150. A couple incidents, but we won't get into that. We're here to talk about sports in the weekend. Where do we start? We'll talk about Goldeyes, we'll talk about the Bombers, and we'll talk about our Winnipeg Jets and their free agent frenzy that occurred on Saturday. And are they really done? So here we go. The Goldeyes 3-0 this weekend against the Sioux Falls Canaries. 22-20 record now. They brought their aces to the mounds Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. First, Mikey O'Brien pitched a stellar 14-8 win, but he got a lot of help in the bottom of the first. 11 batters to the plate, 7 runs in, so he had a bit of a cushion, if you will, to finish off the rest of that game. Edwin Carl in the afternoon matchup Saturday on Canada Day kept it pretty close for the Fish, losing or down 4-3. And then Romansky and Abercrombie putting the game away at the bottom of the fifth to put the Fish up 5-4 in the final score. And as for Sunday, what can you say? Kevin McGovern, 6-2 record now. His second complete game and his second shutout of the year already. 6-0 in the final. Key highlight there, David Bergen launching his 11th of the year. Made it 3-0, so it was a 6-0 final for the Goldeyes. They head on the road for a 3-top against the Wichita boys, and then off to Gary, Indiana for a 4-top, and then they come back on the 11th of July. Listen to your Goldeyes 93.7 CJNU. Steve Schuster with the call and the play-by-play. Good man, good shouting out to him. As for our Bombers, what can you say? They like the overtime idea. Unfortunately, or fortunately for the Bombers, unfortunately for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the Bombers are 1-0, and the Roughriders are 0-2. So, having that said, how did it all come about? Well, a little bit of rust on the wheels. First quarter, they're down 10-0, and then out of nowhere, Matt Nichols decided to play football, throw 4 touchdowns, and put a 31-13 lead between the second and third. So going into the fourth, the Bombers were up 11. So you think it's in the bag, but never in the CFL, of course. The stellar play of our defense, I got to say, I'm being facetious and sarcastic there. The bend, don't break Winnipeg Blue Bomber defense did just enough for the game to get in overtime. Now, overtime game 1, they switched off field goals. They shared them up 3-3. And then, I guess, Jamal Westerman decided, okay, I got a little bit left in the tank. And probably the TSN turning point right there, the overtime, makes a shoestring tackle on the Rough Rider running back to make it 3rd and 5. I don't know how Kevin Glenn decided to run around and not get tackled and sacked as much as he should have, being an old man that he is. So, where do we leave it at? Well, Tyler Capranga, last week you did a terrible thing. You missed one for field goal, and that cost you the game. And again, you missed the one field goal going 4 for 5, and it hit the pole. And that left it for Automatic Medlock to shoot a quick little 3-pointer in the second game of this overtime to win the game 43-40 for the Bombers. Key stat here was not just the defense. I mean, the defense, like I said, the bend don't break, putting up 40 or letting up 40 is a large number. And there's a lot of offense, especially between the Red Blacks and the Stampeders as well. Not so much between the Ticats and the Argonauts. I mean, they're kind of stumbling a bit. Ricky Ray had one great game, one not-great game. But the bottom line is they did just enough for the Bomber offense to win the game. And here's how they won the game. If you remember on Friday, I talked about the most important thing about stretching the field. Now, our boy, Matt Nichols, controlling the clock, doing really well, throwing at about a 65-70% rate, so it's not too bad. Did pretty decent. Most importantly, he threw 4 touchdowns, his best ever effort so far in the CFL. But I'm going to let off some numbers here. Dressler, an 87 long. Darvin Adams, a 31 long. LaDainian Washington, a 35 long. And then the ageless wonder, Clarence Denmark, with a 35er as well. All of those stretch plays made the field longer and a difficulty for the Rough Riders secondary to cover whether or not we're going to throw 5-yard pitch passes or 30-yard bombs. Now, Dressler was a long runoff. It's about a 30-yard pass and about 56 afterwards. But nonetheless, it's still a long play, stretched out the secondary, gave some gaps for Matt Nichols to find, and it was nice to see. So good job offense on the Bombers. Way to protect Matt Nichols as much as you can. Glad we got the rust off the wheels early. Now we can go next week, Friday night at home, the home opener against the Calgary Stampeders. We'll touch on that Thursday or Wednesday when we get closer to the game time there. Now, as for our Jets, we did 2 great pickups. I don't know about the Sgarbosa one, but we'll leave that one alone because it's the little 650. But picking up Steve Mason, 2-year, 4.1, 8.2 total. He comes in right now with the last 4 years never having a losing season. So there's a plus. His average is around 910, 915 if you average it out of those last 4 years. And he's only 29. So technically he could play for 2 or 3 more years. But more importantly, why did we pick up Steve Mason as opposed to Ryan Miller or Brian Elliott? Well, Brian Elliott didn't want to come by, and that's fine with me. And I think with Miller, it's more the thing of being on a contending team right now, and Anaheim is a really great fit. I mean, they almost made it to the finals last year. They're going to be one of those guys or one of those teams that's going to make it to the finals, I think, this upcoming season as well, because they are a powerhouse offensively and defensively with their signings and their veteran qualities. So, the veteran quality, yes, Steve Mason's 29. He is going to provide some tutelage for the young goaltenders. And we're going to see whether or not Hellebuck and Hutchinson can really pick up their game and see if they can feed off of Mason's energy. So let's see what that does. And Chevy picked him up simply because he is the guy that can fit in right here, right now. Dmitry Kulikov, this is a guy that's got a bit of an edge on him, if you will, only because he's played for a team in Florida that was doing really well and then gets traded. And then he plays 1 year in Buffalo, gets injured, and they're playing a terrible season. And he's injured, and they're going nowhere, and Buffalo doesn't make the playoffs. So here's a defenseman, a left-sided defenseman. He gets signed for 3 years here with the Jets, and he covers the left side, which is great. His strong qualities are his skating and his power penalty-killing opportunities, which is great. And more importantly, he's looking to be hungry to play for a team that's going to make some issues. Now, he's saying all the right things, of course, in every interview that he's done, but here's a guy that had a bit of bad luck. I mean, he played with Florida. They're doing something great. He gets traded to Buffalo. And, of course, Buffalo's not the greatest city to play in right now because they're not going anywhere near without Eichel. And Eichel's the only good chip on that shoulder that's going to work. So Buffalo's not going anywhere. So he was definitely looking for a change of scenery, a change of atmosphere. He's coming to Winnipeg. He knows Blake Wheeler. He knows Mark Scheifele fairly well. They've had conversations in the past. So this might be a good fit for Chevy and the Jets here on the left side. And the fact that we took him away from teams like Montreal and Vancouver that were potentially looking at him is a great deal too. So for 3 years we get Kulikov, 2 years we get Mason. Still have about just over $10 million in cap space remaining. A couple more signings to do. But here's my thought. Okay, you have all these wonderful youngsters that have won in the juniors, maybe World Cup, got a silver medal, got a bronze medal, gold medal here and there. But what if we were to add something with a tradition and championship qualities here in the NHL? And what I'm talking about is either or with Jerome McGinley or Jaromir Jagr. I mean, forget what everyone wants to say if they want to play for a contender or not. They want to get one last ring, sure. But here's why I'm vouching, or why I'm pulling the pin here on getting Jaromir Jagr. Last year, $4 million. Okay, so he's not going to get $4 million from any team. However, you put him in a scenario where he has all these undermining clauses, whether or not it's a no-trade clause, whether the Jets don't have 90 points by this time or 80 points by this time, he can offer a trade. He can go play for a contender before the trade deadline. What is he going to provide to this, not only offense, but the locker room and the qualities that Jaromir Jagr has had in his illustrious career? I mean, here's a guy that's played with the likes of Lemieux. Here's a guy that's played overseas with a lot of great players in the Czech Republic and in the K. Here's a guy that's got amazing talent still. If he puts up 30, 40 points, great. It would look great to see a 68 on the back of a Winnipeg Jets jersey and all the merch that would be sold. And furthermore, the stories and the veteran qualities that he has that he could spread to the likes of a 55, a Trouba, a Wheeler, a Little. These guys haven't seen championship feeling in most of their career. And here you can bring in a guy like Jaromir Jagr and give that opportunity. So just a thought out there, just a potential maybe. Sign 68 for the year, give him a little bit of money, put in the clauses where he can make bonus upon bonus upon bonus, and if we're really doing that bad, it's only a 1 year deal, and you take him off the cap for next year. This is Theo Tuckaluk saying, hey, have a great Monday. Thanks for listening. Theo the Juggernaut out. Have a great week.